You guys ready?
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
All right. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Arthur. So today I'm very honored to invite three of my homeboys that lives in the Middle, East, and West of America to talk about like what is the difference on the diet, food, and also like the lifestyle, like geographically. Also, we're gonna provide some tips regarding how to integrate yourself into American culture if you're just an international student like me. So why don't we just go ahead and briefly introduce ourselves?
I'm Keith from Seattle.
My name is Nahor. I'm from Columbus, Ohio.
It's Mike from the DMV, you know what I'm saying?
All right. So the first question is, as we know, there are so many international students coming to America every year for education, like a bachelor, master, and PhD, right? What kind of culture shock that will stand out that you expect from international student when they first come to America?
I mean, obviously,
Go ahead, Mike.
Obviously you're gonna ask we might have a difficult time communicating with you because we don't know exactly where you're from.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably try to be like, okay, well they're asking me this question, asking me that question, like social cues or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Following what Mike said, so if you guys don't know, well, you guys probably don't know this, but my family's from East Africa. I was born and raised in the United States, but my family's from East Africa, a country called Eritrea. And I feel like a universal culture shock is the concept of personal space. So in America, a lot of people want personal space. You know, they don't want people all up in your face. They want people to mind their own business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like not only with my friends who've been to Europe or Asia, but also me personally going to Africa, personal space.
Not all Americans are like that, so.
Yeah, exactly. Most people should be like that, but the biggest problem is like personal space is a big culture shock. Because when I went to Eritrea, a lot of people are more touchy. You know, a lot of people when they greet, you know, you kiss each other on the cheek. You know, you hug more and etc. And me being an extrovert, it's not that bad. I actually enjoy it to a certain degree, but coming to America, you know, I have a lot of friends who are international who have that issue of personal space.
Right. I can feel that. Yeah.
I feel that.
What about you, Keith? What do you think?
In terms of what again was the question? I'm sorry.
Just like what kind of culture shock you would think about, like if you're an international student, you first come to America, you would have?
I think one, like what Mike said, that can be hard is discerning who is genuine and who is not, like who actually genuinely is interested in wanting to get to know you, either your culture because they actually don't know and they want to learn, or fetishizing, like, oh, you're exotic, you're strange, let's be friends, and now you're my new Asian friend, you're my new, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we don't do that over here. Actually, what's your name is? We don't do that.
Oh yeah, no. Like not everyone does that.
Like where you're from, but
no,
I mean,
yeah. But there are some people who have actually genuine interest, but they don't know how to communicate it. Maybe.
Well, what I was saying was, say like when Arthur first got here, like he needed someone to teach him. So it's kind of like that. Like I'm sure like his English wasn't that good when he first got here.
Oh,
now
yeah,
it's
terrible, bro.
Better. So it's
a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of just like that sort of thing.
Yeah, but I kind of agree with Keith, and I agree with you too. Like I feel like growing up, there are people who are like, oh, you're Eritrea. Like for me, people are like, oh, your family's from Eritrea. What's that like? Tell me a little more, and etc. Yeah. And I feel like some people are just asking it like, oh, okay, where you're from? Oh, I'm from Columbus, and they're like, oh, but where are you really from? And I'm like,
that's kind of question definitely gonna throw someone off.
Yeah.
If you're not actually from that country,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
But I think that's what I was trying to get at, because you can kind of tell either based off of how they address the question, tonally how they approach you, or how they approach you. That if it's genuine, it's usually able to be discerned. There's usually a type of like voice per se that happens when it's negative. That's why I was saying tonally it's important, because like if I when we have conversations about where you're from, you know that I actually am interested.
Right. Because I know you.
Right. Because I know you. If I say, hey, I want to go with you to the party over there we went to the other day.
Yeah.
Like that's because I actually want to
know the culture,
and culturally learn new things.
Yeah.
So, but not everyone is like
how
that.
You were telling us like how your school system was like very different than ours.
In China, yes, it's kind of different than America.
That was very educational. So I mean, like we actually listen to you. Like now, if I'm sitting here, you know, you're talking about them like this. Right. Obviously, you're wasting your time.
Right. Because I know you're not interested in that.
Yeah, and I think we also have a bad culture thing about that too. Like, teacher be talking, I'm like,
yeah.
I might write down this little note. Okay, back on the phone.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Right.
Yeah, but I think that kind of sucks because like, and following what Keith says about the tone thing, like some people are, depending on people's tones, you can read whether they are interested and not interested about our culture. But also one of the other biggest issues is that people like to generalize very easily. Like I have friends who think all Asians are the same, all Africans are the same, all Europeans are. I'm not saying that. I actually wasn't referring to that.
Oh, beep.
But generally speaking, not just him, but other people I know, they will be like, oh, you're Chinese, and my other friend may be Korean. Oh, you guys are kind of like the same, right? But if you actually know Chinese and Korean history, you guys are not the same.
Oh, definitely.
Or even worse, like because a lot of people love more of the current Japanese culture because of like anime, Japanese movies, all the.
With Korean because of K-dramas.
Yeah, exactly.
So a lot of generalize like all the thing together.
Yeah. Like for example, being East African, there's a lot of differences between East Africa and West Africa.
Right.
And you can even see it just from the appearance. But the fact that people want to generalize everything makes it difficult.
I mean, whether it's east or west, anywhere is different.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like even the weather.
Yeah, you guys are from different location, right?
Yeah.
Like it's definitely different, I would say. All right. The second question is, so have you had some memorable cultural exchange moment that you have with the international students? It doesn't have to be me.
Well, actually, you're probably the only international student that I know.
Hey, I'm used to that, man.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie. So the one time where we went to McDonald's and we recorded a video.
Yeah, that was that funny, bro. Like
Yeah,
that was pretty
I'm
good.
not gonna dig into it that much, but it was pretty funny.
Mickey D's and stuff. Yeah, that was mad funny, guys.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. Let's just keep.
What about you, Keith?
For me, I'd say one positive experience in addition to meeting you and having a conversation with you or core group with you.
Yep.
That's been great. Also, I recently went to one of the Korean churches nearby. That was a very interesting experience. I had some friends who were in it that I had met through worship. I think it was like public worship on campus. And so that's when I asked, hey, would it be okay if I would come with you guys to church? You can find that community in even international spaces.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, so that was a good experience for me.
Yeah, and not trying to call out the host, but Arthur was actually my international experience too. I've had a lot of I have a lot of diverse international experiences back in Columbus, but my favorite one was when Arthur invited me to his friend's house for Chinese New Year.
Yep.
I thought it was a really, really spectacular experience, not just only being able to actually eat authentic Chinese food, because keeping it real, Panda Express does not do y'all justice.
Hey, hear about it. Facts.
Yeah, but keeping it real. The thing is that he invited me. We had authentic food. We had hot pot. We had so many Chinese desserts and etc. And we were able to watch a lot of Chinese performances actually from China for Chinese New Year, which I thought was interesting.
In Truman.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I want to say I'm really thankful to be a part of such a diverse and immense community.
That's great. So have you adopted or embraced another cultural difference in your daily life, like friends from different places in states? Like it doesn't have to be international in France. It could be like just like let's say like you said, like your family's from Eritrea. Like do you have some friends, their family actually from different country?
Oh, for me actually, so one of my best friends, Abraham, if he's watching this, is actually Ethiopian. And the thing is, Eritrea and Ethiopia, if you guys don't know, Eritrea was a part of Ethiopia, and they separated through a 30-year long civil war with struggle. But at the end, we did gain our independence. But one of the things that is really sad is that with the older generation, Ethiopians and Eritreans may have still a little bit of strife, or using some slang, beef, you know? Yeah. And because of that, one of my great friends is Ethiopian. And me, I don't take grudges that seriously, right? I like to break those barriers. So me going to his house a lot in Columbus and his family accepting me as one of their own really appreciates that, especially with the current climate between Eritreans and Ethiopians.
Right. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a ton of friends, from Eastern Africa, Western Africa. It's always fun. My boy Kanan, he's hilarious. Like he'll just call me out of nowhere. We'll talk about wrestling, talk about anything really. But yeah, like recently he went through something at his school, and I hope that he sees this. but I'm a true supporter of what the situation, and hopefully he'll get out of that situation soon. But yeah.
Great.
And then you're asking. I have some Korean and African friends, so that has added to my I guess cultural or international experience or perspective on things.
Yep.
And then I also have friends from different states in the U.S., so that has also been another type of cultural adjustment or form of adapting, because you got like Western culture in like Northwest of America, but you also have Southeast culture.
Yeah.
So words like y'all and stuff like that like might not be as popular
Y'all is
in
crazy.
the Northwest, whereas I would have probably said you guys growing up.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I'd say that's my both international and national answer to that.
Wait, what if Seattle people would say? Like, y'all.
Well, growing up, I never said y'all. I actually just I just said you guys.
You guys.
That's all I
That's
said.
proper though.
I'm not saying that's what people.
I'm not proper.
Wait, what do you say? Y'all.
I say y'all.
Like I said,
y'all.
We have both in the Midwest.
Wait, Ohio as well?
We actually have both because Ohio's a lot of people are city people and a lot of people are country people, so we say both.
Right. That is a very big difference though.
Because I said I remember saying you guys a lot and not y'all. If I said y'all, it felt a little uncomfortable. And it felt I was also into English and grammar and all that kind of stuff, so I didn't really like apostrophe words.
Right.
I also
You
hated,
are.
I did not
That's
like
true.
words like bruh and all that kind of like.
Bruh.
Bruh.
What you mean, bruh?
It's a bruh moment right
No,
now.
like, so that got me so
Oh,
cringy.
no,
Versus
no,
now it's fine. Like I can
Hey,
say that. So it's
All right.
Definitely.
All right. So next question is about food. Everybody loves food, right?
Yes.
So in China, food is very vital. We have a saying it's called 米食为天. That means the people take the food as important as the sky. So it's very important. Okay. So can you guys describe a dish or cuisine from the U.S. but in different states that initially you found is intriguing or challenging?
Are you talking about from our state or any state?
It doesn't matter. Any states.
Barbecue in North Carolina.
You think it's weird?
No.
You think it's bussin', right?
It's bussin'.
Oh yeah, no cap. I think there is bussin', yeah.
I was like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not weird. It's really, really good.
Bussin',
Yeah.
yeah. Bussin' all the way, man. Bussin' all the way. Stop.
But yeah, that's probably like my favorite place to eat barbecue. In Virginia. What's the best thing in Virginia? I don't know.
Cookout?
No.
Hey, yeah.
Although that is specific to the southeast.
Right.
It's not.
It's not like everywhere. Yeah.
But it's definitely not everywhere, and I don't know if that's the same as barbecue. Like it's not like they're both have the same.
I just had an
cookout, but
epiphany.
they're
I'm
not.
like, have I ever heard any like Virginia is the best food category here?
So one thing I'm thinking
heard
of,
that.
like in Seattle, my dad, who's from the southeast, so like North Carolina, Virginia, he would make grits a lot for us, and a lot of my my black friends in Seattle, I don't think they really had grits like
Oh, really?
at all. Like,
No kidding.
Like if they did, they didn't like
Soul
it.
food in
They
the
weren't.
South.
They weren't interested in it. There were like soul food. There were soul food restaurants in Seattle, and my parents loved going there. I actually didn't care for it at the time because it just wasn't part of my like
So full of
daily
flavor and
meal.
everything. It's so good.
But it is. But grits, especially when you add it with like eggs, cheese,
Yeah.
bacon. My dad adds liver pudding, like all these different things. Like that's what my dad would do.
Yeah, I'm
That
feeling
was,
it right now.
for him, that
Yeah,
was
I kind of get hungry right now.
for him that was like home cooked meals because that's what he was raised with back in the South.
Right.
So I did get a taste of that, or taste of these, shall we say?
What is the name of?
Southeast in Northwest. So.
Yeah, this is actually something harder for me just because I grew up like as a second generation African American.
Right.
But one thing that I felt like I love soul food, everything from the chicken, grits, anything you name it, right? And we have actually a good amount of soul chains, especially like more like southern chains. Like we have a lot of Nashville chicken places in Columbus. Columbus is a big hub when it comes to like food, soul food, etc. But
crazy.
but that is true. But the one thing, the one thing I'm not gonna lie, the one soul food or the one southern dish that has never appealed to me is pig's feet. I don't know why.
Yeah, I remember I took you to one of the Chinese restaurants locally, and at the beginning I want to try the pig feet because in pig feet it's kind of like a very famous cuisine in China. It's called zhujiao or zhuti. So it's very big and it's really good actually. And they was like, oh dude, I dare to try it. But when he actually take a bite, it's actually not bad, right?
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's very tender.
Exactly, but it's just culturally like in Eritrea and Ethiopia, we don't really like eating the feet of many animals just because that's not clean.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
That
like
is
for
true.
example,
Clean and all that, but like
no, yeah, exactly. Like for example, like there's a lot of chicken, for example, in Eritrea and Ethiopia, but nobody dares to eat chicken feet. You know what I mean? Or for example, like pork is generally
That sounds disgusting.
Well, I mean, the thing on the contrary, in China, we call it phoenix feet.
Exactly.
Phoenix feet is really good.
Oh, feet though.
Feet.
Feet, yeah, not feet. Yeah.
Feet ain't, legs, thighs, breasts.
Yeah.
Just the feet. Just the feet.
Just the feet.
We never.
But in China, we love it, dude. We dig it. We dig it. Because the thing, in China, we call it chicken feet. It's called phoenix feet.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
It is really good. They kind of like a seasoning, and then it could be sour, it can be spicy. It was really good.
Well, that's the
I'll
thing.
bring it next time. It's actually a very famous snack.
A little bit.
Are they
No,
hot
exactly.
like Phoenix, like Phoenix.
We call it phoenix feet. Because the chicken feet, it sounds like meh.
Yeah,
But I mean,
exactly.
phoenix feet is kind of like, it sounds like, bougie.
And that's the thing. Arthur took me to there's an authentic Chinese restaurant near us called Taste of China, and I actually had chicken feet over there, and it was actually pretty good. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One by the cookout.
No.
No, that was you had to pass.
It's
them.
further.
It's further.
It's further. It's like
yeah.
it's near the
Beat-up.
Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, near the beat-ups actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's the thing. Like in Eritrea, like we don't really eat the feet of animals, and with pig just being viewed as unclean, both from like Orthodox Christians and from Muslims, it's just I never really got exposed to that in the household in my community.
Yeah, that is also true.
Pigs bring ham.
And another question, guys, what kind of lifestyle do you think is ideal or cozy in your opinions, arguably? But like suburban, big city, small town, or countryside?
That question, everything
So it's a spicy question, actually.
Yeah, this is spicy, actually. Because every single aspect of what you said has its own little thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like it's kind of hard. So, like, I might want to live in a city, but the city be noisy. Like, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And the traffic is horrible.
Yeah.
In the country, you have peace. Like you might hear a gunshot or something, like in the distance or something.
They're probably like hunting stuff. Yeah.
Or
hunting deers, hunting bears, or stuff.
Hunting whatever.
Yeah.
But you be like, man, I want to do something, but you can only do it in the city because there's nothing in the country.
Yeah, you cannot hear the gunfire in the city. That's the
suburbs. The suburbs are like the perfect. It's like it depends on the suburb that you live in because it's like okay, you might have a lot of traffic. It's kind of like the in between of the country.
Yeah.
So it's your preference really. It's not. I don't think there's a right one.
But what if you have to choose?
If I have to choose,
Right.
I'm choosing country.
Okay.
Hey.
Because really, because like I say, like I can't. A lot of noise disturbs my peace. I cannot take it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, and then like, when me and they were driving down here today, right?
Mm-hmm.
People walking across the street slow. My light's green. I'm like hitting the horn to move. There's no offense, but that's just how I feel sometimes.
Yeah.
Feelings, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then that's the thing, because this might be the point where we disagree, but I actually love the suburban lifestyle. I grew up in the suburbs, so the one thing I loved is that it was like 15 minutes away from the downtown city, so it was super convenient if I had to go like...
No, I was saying that it was kind of the in between.
No, exactly.
Yeah. I wasn't disagreeing. I was just saying just one.
No, exactly. No, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah. No, yeah. But the reason why is because I agree with Mike. Whenever I would go to the city downtown for like OSU events or anything, traffic is horrendous. I would hate driving there. And that's Columbus, Ohio. That's not even like New York or Chicago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's that.
New York.
Exactly.
Think about living in New York for like 20 years.
Exactly.
Go New Year's Day.
Exactly. And then the thing is with the country, I like the peaceness of the country, but the thing I kind of don't like is that it's very spread out. It makes sense because it is a rural country community with not that many people.
Yeah.
It's just me, I'm a very social guy, and I like somewhere to, like a plaza or somewhere to connect. And with me being in a suburb outside of Columbus, I feel like I have the best of both worlds, you know? If I have to visit someone more out country, it's no more than 30, 40-minute drive. But let's say if I have to go downtown or into the city for anything, like church or whatever, 15, 20 minutes on the road, you're good.
Yeah, easy. Yeah. What about you? You live in Seattle, which is a big city.
So I actually lived east of Seattle. So I lived in Issaquah, which was the name of the city, or the small town. It was a small town, so I guess it was kind of suburban then.
Yeah.
But it was very green, like a very green area. So like every time I just close my eyes and I say Issaquah, like all I see is green. Like, so it was very peaceful. It was very calm. So I'm kind of used to that. We lived like 5-minute walk, 15-minute walk, which is really a 1 to 2 minute drive, like away from the high school. We didn't go to the high school, but we lived near it. And then further down the street, which was probably more like a 25 minute walk, maybe even a 10-minute bike ride, was the city. So like it was almost like a country city, but it was still surrounded by green. You had the library, all that kind of stuff. You had the restaurants. not that they were, I don't know if they were necessarily authentic because I don't remember, but we had Chinese restaurants, we had like breakfast places, cafes, like libraries, movie theater further down, like and the theater for like the arts.
Nice.
So
I literally want to his house.
No,
Like I'm living over there, bro.
So it was just really, you had everything, like, and you did, but it was like the proper amount. It wasn't too much. It wasn't too much, and it wasn't too little. It was like the perfect environment just to like chill and do something. But also, if you wanted to just be in quiet, I just stayed home. And that was all I had to do.
I mean, it sounds perfect.
Like,
literally sounds perfect.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy my ticket now. You know.
This question, bro.
Yeah.
All right, the final questions. What's the different lifestyle you think between West, Middle, East in the U.S.? It's a little broad question, but lifestyles. Like, what is a Western? I mean, anything generally. Western people, middle people, and Eastern people do. A little bit different.
It depends on what part East. East.
Right. Like a northeast or south.
Because I'm telling you, Virginia weather be bipolar, bro.
Yeah.
Like I'm over here in a hoodie, it'd be 35 degrees, and then I'll come out of school, it'd be 80 something. I'm like, bro, what?
It's hot when it should be cold.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, what is going on?
I'm gonna keep it a buck. If you think that's bad, you haven't been to Ohio, because Ohio's crazy, bro.
No,
the weather's so bipolar over there.
Well, what I'm saying, what I'm saying is if you on like that line, like it's either okay, if you go north, it's cold. You go to west, I mean not west. You go south, it's hot. But if you in the middle, bro, I don't know, like you
better move.
You gotta have.
I'm gonna pack my bag in.
You gotta have pants, shorts, sunglasses. You gotta have everything for every month because, and then they wonder.
You never know, yeah.
Then they're like, oh, why do all these people get sick? I'm like, bro, do you realize where we live at? Like they're like, how did you get sick? I'm like, okay, it was 85 yesterday. It's 43 today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What are you talking about?
No, I do get, my bad. I was gonna say I do get that though, because coming from Ohio's bipolar, but it's just more bipolar and like the diversity. You know what I mean by that? So yeah. But no, that's the thing though. When I came to Virginia, it was a culture shock, like expecting that same weather here, because it was my second year, and if you guys don't, the second year sophomore year at UVA, and what happened was, it was like February, right? And when I came in, it was like really 20 degrees, black ice everywhere. When I had to go to class, I had to really watch my step. And then one day in February, it literally went from like 32 degrees to 63.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, what the heck is going on, bro? I'm like, Mother Nature is bipolar for real, bro.
Yeah, you'll literally go from this to
Take it all.
But that's what I hate about y'all's falls. Y'all falls.
Yeah.
No, and that's the thing. That's what I hate about y'all's falls. Because at least in Ohio, I would have my hoodie on all day because it's at least cold enough like that. But Virginia will be like, let's say I have a class at 10 a.m. 9 a.m., I have to wear a hoodie or else I'm going to freeze.
Nah.
When I get out of my class at 11, I got to take off my hoodie because it's already 60 degrees. It's already warm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What about Keith?
Well, one thing, since we're talking about weather, I'd say one big difference is in Seattle, I'd say the weather is not bipolar. I would say it's not. Like, the hottest it would ever be for me was 80 degrees. It never, like, growing up, of course with global warming and all that, it's not the same.
Yeah.
I've heard that it's reached like hundreds, which was like a rarity back then. But like 80, I remember one of my first track meets, 80 was like that was bad.
You was running
like,
80-degree weather?
80 was bad.
You a good one.
No, but that it never went above 80 something. Like it never reached like, because then we moved to North Carolina, and when we moved there, it was humid. So you had, but there's no humidity in Seattle.
Oh, that's kind of weird. I mean, Seattle.
No, like it's not.
Nice.
No,
It must
it's
be
not.
nice, right?
Like
No, that's
the
what
only
I-
warmth or heat you're feeling is if the sun does peek through the clouds. You're feeling the warmth of the rays. You're not feeling like the the moisture.
I'm glad you brought up humidity. I do not like when it rains after it's been hot because you're sweaty, and then it'll rain, and then it'll get humid, and then you're like, bruh.
No.
And that's a weird balance because you got the coat for the weather, but then now it's like hot, and so you don't really know what to do.
Then you're like, just whatever.
But that's the thing, because in Ohio it does get humid. But my friends from like New Mexico, Arizona, Seattle. In Seattle, they talk about there's not a lot of humidity, but my friends in Arizona and New Mexico, they say that at least before they moved, they said there wasn't a lot of humidity. So the thing they kind of hated is they kind of hated dry heat more than humid heat to a certain degree, because dry heat just makes you feel more exhausted. Now, granted, I don't like humidity, period, but that was something interesting. Like, they actually like the humid environment more than the dry heat.
Well, just heat in general kind of
sucks. Yeah,
kind of drains.
Yeah, for me, I'm not a kind of guy who want to go outside during the summer. Like I hate heat.
Say for instance, like okay, so like I worked for this company about 2 years ago, and my first day out there, I literally worked 8 hours straight. I went to my aunt's house, passed out, like automatically passed out.
Hey,
dang.
Wait, really? You just kind of like
I was so exhausted. I literally went, hey, I want something to drink, and then I was out. Like that's the only thing I remember.
Do you drive? Do you drive the time, or you just work?
No, I drove back to my house.
Oh, you drove back?
Yeah, I drove back.
Well, it must be very hard.
Or what was it?
She was like maybe 5 minutes down the road.
Oh, okay.
I was very like, I was like, I'm not
dehydrated.
Going home. Yeah, I was dehydrated. I was like, I'm not going home. I'm gonna go to sleep. Cause like I was,
Well, in Seattle it also rains a lot, so I'm actually used to the rain. I prefer the rain actually, like not too much of it. Like that's the weird thing though. In Seattle, and my mom had to correct me on this because my memory had been I think shifted.
Warped.
Yeah, it was a little warped because I was so used to the rain being like downpours here.
Right.
But in Seattle, it's like a gentle mist. So it's constant and there is clouds all the time, but it's not like always that droopy, and that severe, that intense. So I think and
I think a little bit droopy is okay.
No, yeah, that's fine.
It makes it more cool.
A little breeze, a little droopy day. I mean, as long as it's not very cold or like raining very heavily, I'm good.
Sometimes that's the thing. A person where if it's cloudy outside, I'm I can do stuff.
I feel like everybody should move to Seattle though.
I'm I can't really get everything done. I'm just
exact reverse version of me.
No,
it's just like cloudy outside. I'm like, bruh.
She's like, I don't want to go outside.
One day I was walking to class. It was kind of a rainy day, and I never walked to class for a 9:30 a.m. from Malone to Bryan Hall.
Right.
I walked because I was like, oh my gosh, this is so nice. This is exactly I'm used to this. I just liked the ambiance, the quiet, the petrichor is the smell of the rain. Mm-hmm. So I was the petrichor, all of it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is
Have you ever said you can smell rain and people be like, what are you talking about? You smell rain?
Well, what you're really smelling is it's from the ground.
Yeah, around the grass.
I'm like, okay. I look up at the sky. I'm like, okay, I see clouds. Then I I'm like, oh yeah, I think there's gonna be weather. I can kind of smell it.
Mm-hmm. So some people feel it in their knees or which is so weird. I don't know how they do that, but they do.
It's the pressure,
yeah. Or you said, you feel something at one point.
Yeah, I get headaches when the weather fluctuates a lot. Yeah. But I was gonna
fall. It must be raining.
What is it, Noah?
But I was gonna say so I ran cross country and track in middle school and high school, and the one thing my coaches said is that a lot of people love, a lot of runners actually like living in that Seattle, Washington, Oregon area because it's the consistent mist, that consistent clouds. So they feel like they're not so dehydrated, they're not hurt by the humidity, they don't feel too much of the heat, which some people, they might not like that. Some people are more sunshine, bright, everything. Yeah. But for people who are runners, they love that weather. And I agree with that because if you think no, exactly. Because when Keith says 80 degrees is the hottest they've been, I'm mad salty over here because we had to run 5Ks in cross country in 95-degree weather.
Mm-hmm. But also in North Carolina, when I had track meets, if it was raining, the meet was canceled. That doesn't happen in Seattle. If it rains, we actually have stadiums where it's they have a cover over the stadium itself. It's actually built into it. Bougie. So they're like, okay, we're expecting rain on this football game, so we're just gonna already have this thing set up so that if it does rain, you're covered. But if you're playing, you're not covered.
Hey, Seattle, y'all trying to see me some cheddar?
I mean, it's just like they actually prepare for the weather. Not that they and warm-ups. Oh my gosh, warm-ups were so important in when I was growing up. But then once I moved to this area, warm-up is still important, but it would be so difficult to warm up because it's already so hot and you're already warm just from the heat in the South. But then when I was warming up in Seattle, it was so much easier. I barely would sweat. You sweat and you were warm, but it wasn't overwhelming.
It's a difference of temperature and a difference of placement.
You were more easily hydrated too, or at least you didn't have to drink as much water because not only was it raining and cloudy, it's not as sunny.
Because there's no humidity around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. All right. To wrap it up, so today we just we see a bunch of the different opinions. It was really good. It's all correct actually. Yeah.
It was great.
All right. So please like this video and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Peace.
See ya.